Hello, hello, everyone. Ruth Rivera here. Hey, Wendy, how are ya?
I'm so good. How are you doing?
I am good, good, good. Decided to take off my glasses today so I won't see the reflection of my windows. But I
Ah,
can't see anything, so you need to make sure that you see if anybody comes on live with us because I can't see. But
sounds
here
good.
we are. Real life, real growth. So glad to see you. Even if it's just on video, right? We don't live close to each other. So those of you who are logging on with us for the first time, my name is Ruth Rivera, and I am a real estate coach, a broker, a mom, a wife, a sister. And today we're going to be talking about real life, real growth when it comes to being grateful. So I'm going to pass the mic over to Wendy, and Wendy can introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her.
Yeah, thanks, Ruth. My name is Wendy English, and I work in the real estate industry. Ruth is my colleague, as you may know. And I am excited. Both of us are really invested in our personal growth. It's something that really charges me up. I know it charges you up, Ruth. And so we are here to just take 20 or 30 minutes and focus on that and see where it takes us.
Yes, and we're going into an era right now, Wendy, where gratefulness is so important. And I got to tell you, last week you told me about the ABCs of gratefulness. And I went on live today in the morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, live here on Instagram,
I
while
saw
I
you.
was walking with my sister, and we went through the ABCs. And I got to tell you, I didn't think we were going to go through every single one of the letters, but we did. I did the whole thing. I just got
It's hard,
into
right?
it, and I just wanted to keep going. And I thought, today was a great day to talk about being grateful. And I'll pass the mic over to you in a moment, but one of the things in our industry is that we build a lot of relationships. We with those relationships, we're trying to build trust with the buyers and the sellers and the investors that we're working with. And for us to be able to be successful with them and their real estate journey is we have to be grateful for the opportunity that they allow us to be part of that real estate journey. So I think that being grateful and adding that to your everyday, whether it's your life, whether it's your business, is so empowering. And I thought it was great to bring that back since we talked just a little bit about it last week. So I'm passing the mic over to you. I know I tend to talk a lot, so I don't want to take it all up on my own here. So go
No,
ahead,
that's
Wendy.
yeah, I'm so glad you tried the practice of the gratefulness using the ABCs and just, to let anyone who ends up listening know the idea is to go through the alphabet A to Z and for each letter find something that you're grateful for. So, if you're at Z and you like zebras, you're grateful for zebras. And it's just a way to really get your mind working in a positive way. And I think I shared last week that I was feeling a little glass half empty, and that's not my natural way of being. I didn't like it. And so that's a way to really change it up and get the positive thoughts going. I'm so glad you did it. I didn't listen to your live, but I saw you walking along. You had your hat because it's chilly in the mornings here now. And so awesome, bravo that you were out there doing that. And I'll just share one more thing that I've been trying to do, and I'm going to try harder now that I'm voicing it. Is instead of saying I have to, say I get to. So I have to go to the grocery store, and it sounds like a chore. Instead, saying I get to go to the grocery store, or, whatever it is, I have to go and walk at 5 a.m. I get to go and walk at 5 a.m. It's just such a different feel when you change that one word, and it really can help with mindset.
I love that. I get to talk with you guys today on
Yeah.
Instagram. I got to walk this morning, and we don't really always realize the blessings that we definitely have and what we should be grateful for because it's just natural for us to go to the grocery store. It's just natural for us, or for me, to wake up in the morning and go walking. But there's people out there who unfortunately are not able, and they don't get to go to the grocery store, or they don't get to walk in the morning. So being grateful for the little things will compound for all of those big things that are going to make a big difference in your life. And like I mentioned before, we're in a business where we're connecting, and we're building trust. We're really helping people with the biggest purchase that they can make in their lives, right? And we have to be grateful in our industry that they allow us, they choose us, they pick us to actually walk them through that journey. They pick us to help them with the obstacles that they're facing when they're deciding to buy, sell, or invest. They choose us to ask questions. I think that's something that we definitely need to be grateful for. And we don't realize that there's so many people within our industry that they can select to be part of that journey, but they selected us. And that's something to be entirely grateful. And in life, we get to wake up every morning. We get to be moms. We get to be wives. And sometimes there's challenges with those things, but it's being grateful that we have the opportunity to be part of that.
You are so right. And I was listening in, I was just kind of standing nearby, and it was a conversation between a person and someone else who had just started in real estate maybe a year and a half ago. So, the conversation was, how's it going? And a lot of schlepping. Seems like real estate is a lot of schlepping. And the person who was the agent was like, yeah, I mean, that's one way you could put it. But I really like to think of it as I'm out there hustling, and I like to hustle. And I did not do enough hustling a couple of years before I started, mainly because of the pandemic. So, it was a great way to reframe what can look like, something tough, difficult, a grind, and take it from schlepping to no, I'm hustling, I'm making it happen. And I love that way of reframing. And I think any way we can do that to get thinking in a positive direction and have gratitude towards whatever it is that's in front of us for the day is fantastic.
And we choose how we align our lives, how we align our businesses. I listened to a podcast. My girlfriend Patricia does a morning podcast on Mondays at 6 o'clock in the morning. While I'm walking, I'm listening to her. And one of the things that she talked about this week was aligning your life in the way that you want your life to progress. And being grateful is part of that alignment. Since we're talking about being grateful, we choose how our life is going to be. Yes, there is obstacles and challenges in life, right? However, we choose to dwell on the negative, or we choose to dwell on the positives, right? And if we dwell on the positives, be grateful for having the mindset to overcome that negative situation and turn it into a positive situation. I think that's very powerful, but you have to be courageous to do that. You have to be fearless to do that, right? That's not easy. It is not an easy task. Not all of us are strong-minded. However, some of us listen to podcasts like Real Life, Real Growth, right? And they get inspired in what we share with them, and they choose to use that as leverage to move forward in their life. I think that's something to be grateful for. I'm grateful for listening to my friend on Mondays. I'm grateful to connecting with you. We talk a lot, you and I, outside of the Real Life, Real Growth podcast. I'm grateful for that. And that helps me in a way that I didn't realize until I sit down and I say, you know what? I'm grateful for Wendy because when I have sometimes a negative thought, I talk to Wendy or I talk to my husband or I talk to somebody and they say, you know what? Look at it in another perspective, right? And when you realize you can analyze something in a different perspective, then you can move in a positive direction. And I'm grateful for that. Entirely grateful.
Love it.
I
Z
lost
when
you.
you were doing. Oh,
I
am I
lost you
back?
completely. Yes.
Totally? Oh
Yeah.
no. Am I back now?
Yes. I think when something came in, maybe when you were touching. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I did go on Do Not Disturb, so who knows? So yeah, how hard was it to get from A to Z when you were doing your gratitude list and you were walking? Were you and your sister taking turns?
Well, it was hard,
Yeah.
very difficult because
Hmm.
I didn't prepare for it.
Yeah.
I will be very honest with you. I knew that we were coming to the podcast, Real Life, Real Worlds, now at noon. And I thought that, I knew that we were talking about, being grateful.
Hmm.
So this morning when I got out the door, I said, you know what, we're gonna go live on podcast and we're gonna do the ABCs because I did it last week by myself.
Uh-huh.
And then my sister said, oh my God, you didn't prepare me. I'm like, I wasn't prepared either. So we shared words together. She
Great.
said some words with whatever the alphabet was. I shared some words. There were some letters that I could not think of what I was
Yeah.
grateful for. There's
Q.
so many things that we are grateful for, but we don't realize what we're grateful for
Yeah.
until we sit back and we start thinking about them. But being prepared to think about that. I wasn't prepared to think about it this morning, but I said, you know what? I'm fearless. I'm going for it anyways. I'm going to go live. I had, believe it or not, I think 19 people on at 6 o'clock in the morning. And
Awesome.
it was fantastic. And there were some comments, but when I was walking, so I really unfortunately was not paying attention to the comments, but there were people talking about what they were grateful for. And today on my huddle, I also had a theme about being grateful, and I went over the ABCs of being grateful in real estate. And I had the agents engaging with me live on the chat on what they were grateful for and what they were grateful for in their life and in their business. And there was a lot of interaction. You don't realize the things you are grateful for until somebody asks you to think about it. And it's been a very grateful day.
Good. I am so glad. And it's nice that you're getting the agents that you work with in that mindset, especially as we go towards Thanksgiving. I know when I do the ABC gratitude challenge, Sean and I will do it when we walk sometimes, especially if we're like feeling grouchy. And it's so good to get your body going, get your mind going. And I tend to do names. So like if I get to a letter and someone in my family, that's the first letter of their name, it's definitely that person that I'm grateful for. So I love it. So the mind is going, the body is going, and what a great way to start the day. So we every week talk about what was the gold from our week and what was the garbage from our week, what we just don't want. Something that, we either did or happened or, something that just didn't go well that we just want to put in the trash. And then something that maybe we want to give ourselves a gold star for. Did you
So
have anything?
yes, something gold this week. I accomplished a lot. I will tell you, I had a list. I sat down on Sunday last week because we're talking about last week, right? And
Hmm.
I sat down and I wrote down a lot of things that I wanted to do and I wanted to accomplish. Actually, I think I sat down on Wednesday and I wrote down a whole bunch of things that I wanted to accomplish. And I actually went one by one and I finished them all. Every single
Awesome.
one I wanted to prepare a few presentations so they were ready. So when I had to do a coaching session with the agents, that all I had to do was go to Canva. It was already ready to go. So everything on my list, I want to say, I'm happy to say I accomplished everything.
I love
Um,
it.
a negative is I went and I bought something and I didn't check that the bag that everything was there.
Oh,
And when I got home, it wasn't. Everything was not
oh,
there.
that
So I had
stinks.
to drive all the way back to where I
What a
got it
hassle.
and get it. And it was not a short drive. And sometimes when we're rushed in life, we don't stop and pause to check. And I know this is not this is just I'm using that example as an analogy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we don't stop to check that all of the box are checked, all of the T's are crossed, all of the I's are dotted. And because we're so involved with doing things fast, we're and pressing the easy button. But sometimes we need to pause and look at the things that we wanted to accomplish to see in reality if we did it right. Maybe we accomplished it. Going back to that list that I
Good
told
point.
you,
Yeah.
and sorry if you hear my dogs, but
Yeah, I
uh,
do. They sound good. Very cute.
uh, sometimes we need to pause and look at what we were doing to see if we did it right. And if we did it not only right, but we did it complete, right?
Yeah.
When I went to
Yep.
that store, I bought, but I didn't complete by verifying that everything that was in the bag should have been in that bag until I got
Mm-hmm.
home. And
Yeah.
sometimes when we're doing things in our lives, sometimes when we're doing things in our business, we don't pause to really to check to make sure that everything is done right and done in a manner that reflects the way we want it to reflect, right? So that was the negative. Really nothing related to business, but I was just so upset with myself that I had to drive all the way back to Winter Park, which I live
Yeah.
25 minutes away from there, to
Mm-hmm.
get where I was missing. And I could have resolved that if I would have just checked before I left.
Yeah, so you're basically saying you've got to stop rushing and slow it down because what happens is if you rush and something is missing or something goes wrong, it ends up taking longer in the long run, which showed up for you in that you had to drive that 20 minutes back to Winter Park. That is you could relate that to so many different scenarios. And it's such good advice. Just slow down, make sure you're dotting all your I's, crossing all your T's. There's definitely quotes that relate to that, but basically, that extra minute can save you many minutes or many hours. So, really, really good point. For me, so I have all these goals, and gratitude was one of them, and it keeps happening to me last week, this week, that things are coming up that just throw a monkey wrench in the works. So last week, I know I, whined and complained to you about my car problems. And then this week, and it's really stinks, my dog hurt her back. And it's like having an infant again because she's got to be in a crate. She's got to, relax and heal. And it's exhausting. It is truly like having an infant again. So, what's happening is I am having to pivot to get done the things that I need to get done. I'm having to say, what are my priorities? And let the rest go to the side until I get through these couple of issues that are just throwing a monkey wrench in the works. And especially for anyone in sales, the most successful salespeople, it's not about not having, the things that trip you up or the things that, take you to a place where, your production's down or things aren't going right, sales are falling through. It's not about that. It's more about how you bounce back from those things and how quickly you bounce back. So I'm working on quickly bouncing back from the monkey wrenches that are coming at me from like every direction and staying focused on, we're going to have some nice time off next week for the holidays. We're going to have some great time with family. And I just need to be really thankful for that and know that I'm going to get back to my priorities, the things that I want to accomplish that will help me grow. And, if I have something that's a monkey wrench, I just have to, bounce back quickly. So that's my focus.
And that's hard, especially with
Yeah,
your dog. You know, our furry kids are, you know, they're our kids, they're our children. We love them a lot, and it's hard
it
when, you
is.
know, they hurt themselves. Not only do they uh you know, you feel like you have to help him, right? He's in that little crate right now. He or she?
This is
She's in that little
Charlie.
crate right now, and you have to be there for her. But also it hurts in your heart that you see them with that
Hmm.
situation.
Yeah,
So, you know, life throws a lot of things your way, but let's, the way you said it, the way you bounce back and how quickly you bounce back, and having the support of the people that are surrounding you, that means a lot
yes.
too. If the people that you have in your corner are not supporting you when these things are thrown at you, it becomes even more difficult. So, you
Hmm.
know, I would say, besides your family, because you can't change your family, right? And hopefully your family is always
Hmm.
there to support you. I know my family is always there to support you. I know, support me, and I know your family is always there to support you. But to our listeners, you know, if you're, you know, you can't change your family, but you can help your family change their mindset, right? You can help your family to see, view your point of view in a positive direction. However, the people that are not in your family, the people that are in your circle, you want to make sure you're in the middle of that circle with people who support you, who guide you, who maybe not have the same ideas and motivation at you, but they're there to say, you know what, Ruth, you know what, Wendy, you know what, I don't understand what you're doing, or I don't get why this happened, you know, why you're doing this, but you have my 100% support. Those are the people that you want in your circle. If you don't have
Hmm.
those people in your circle, then it's time to reanalyze the people that are in your circle. I strongly believe that. I strongly believe the people who believe in me and believe in the things that I do, regardless of whether or not they have the mindset, those are the ones that are going to be in my circle. The people who are constantly negative, that do not have the same mindset, I am grateful for knowing them, right? But I don't want them to interfere with what my life goals are supposed to be, or my career goals. And you know, that's a hard decision to make. And but those are what keeps your life moving in a positive direction.
Yeah, you are so right. And, if, for those who are in sales, if you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, it's oftentimes you're out there solo, you're on your own, and finding ways that you can build a trusted circle, ask for help, that's hugely important for anyone who's, building a career, building a business, doing something entrepreneurial. So, yeah, building that trust, having that circle of people that can be a support, so important.
Yeah, so this week is my birthday, Wendy.
That's right. I forgot. How did I forget? Happy birthday. Is it today?
It's Friday.
Friday. Okay.
Friday, the 21st of November is my birthday.
Awesome. Happy
And
birthday early.
yes, and I'm going to say my age. I am going to turn 55 years old on Friday. And I want to say that I'm thankful for reaching this age and grateful for that. I'm grateful for having a youthful spirit. I'm
Hmm.
grateful for having the energy, because I'm very involved and very active, and I like to be very involved. I like to be very active in my life, in my career, in my community. And I'm grateful for these moments, having them with you. I'm grateful for motherhood. I'm grateful for being a wife. I'm grateful for being a sister. I'm grateful for being a daughter. And I'm grateful for my friends. So I do want to end it with that. I am so grateful for so many blessings that I've been able to receive. And I'm open for many more blessings to come in the future. So I want to end my part by saying I am so grateful. I know next week is Thanksgiving, so we're not going to have the Real Life, Real Growth podcast because, you know, a lot of people are going to be out there in Thanksgiving. So I know Wendy has her family coming over. I have family. So I just want to say have a fantastic Thanksgiving. enjoy the people who mean the most to you. It's not a lot of times we get the opportunity to be with them. So be thankful and be grateful for them and spend as much time as you can. So I'm going to pass the mic over to you, Wendy, and you could end us today.
Well, I always love hearing your just words of wisdom, and that's what comes from the age you have gotten to. First of all, no one would ever believe that you're the age that you just shared.
Ah,
So,
thank you.
very brave of you to put that out there. And I'll just put it out there. Ruth and I know we are the same age. It's not my birthday this week, but we are the same age. And it's definitely something that's worth reframing, because it would be very easy to be like, oh my gosh, I'm getting old. This is terrible. But with years and age come experience and just awesome perspective. So thank you for sharing that perspective. And I am definitely grateful for the Thanksgiving week coming up. I'm thankful for the fantastic business year that we've had. That's winding up. We just celebrated Real Estate New Year, which I always call November 15th. Very grateful for the awesome year we've had. And I'll miss this next week. But I know that we'll be, enjoying family, as you mentioned, enjoying some turkey. So thanks for doing this with me. It's one of my favorite parts of the week, as I've said before. And we'll wrap it up with that.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Thanks for logging on. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Happy
Bye.
Thanksgiving. Happy birthday, Ruth.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.